Hey everyone, welcome back to the Hidden Brick, where today we're doing part 2 of the build of the LEGO Technic 24-hour race car. So this is how far we made it in part 1. We opened all the bags and we've got the rear suspension built. So if you missed that, check it out. There's a link down below. Right now we're moving on to the engine block. So we basically start with these preformed little engine block pieces. Put a few pins in them. And we have our actual little cylinders that the pistons will go up and down in. So we connect 4 of them together with friction pins. And we're going to add 2 more friction pins on the ends. So this piece will snap in like that. Next we're going to build our camshaft with all of our pistons. So it's basically unique pieces that are specifically meant for the LEGO Technic engines. Now I've seen some of these pieces being used in other sets for various reasons, but for the most part they're all meant to be used for the engine pieces. And we're going to do all 8 pistons. Even though we've only built an engine block that has 4 cylinders, you'll see how all that works together once we get it all put together. So 2 more piston rods, another little camshaft piece, and then the last 2 piston rods are going to be slid into this piece like that. So that's the whole configuration of it. So next we take these piston heads. They basically pop onto each one of the little toe ball pieces. Okay. And let's see here. Something is not right. Okay, I see what I did. Alright, so this last one that I put on, I shouldn't have put it on the way I did. It should have had a red axle on there. Knew that was going to happen. Alright. Pick those pieces off the ground. Put a red axle in there. And this piece should have had the axle sticking out. And there's a 1-to-1 picture. That's kind of what tipped me off. It shows in the instructions how it should line up. So we take 4 of them and slide them into the engine block compartment. And then they show a 7-long axle being attached right there. That'll kind of help hold it in place. We have our other 4 engine blocks or piston cylinders. All right, 2 more pins. So just like the other side, we slide that on. Now on this side, we have to push one of these 3 long friction pins in here to hold it in place. All right, so that's being held in place. It shows 2 bushings being pushed on here. Turn this around, take our other frame piece. Carefully line everything up. All right. It's kind of hard lining 4 friction pins up at once, but looks like we got it. 2 more friction pins, and it shows this turned around like this with 2 of these pin joiners connected like that. And then on the top we have a standard LEGO system plate with a couple red tiles, and then 2 grill tiles on the end. Alright, we bring over our car chassis that we've started to build, turn it over. This piece slides in here, and those pin joiners connected to some pins that were sticking out right there. Then we have a small bevel gear, black bevel gear that will slide on that axle. That's on there. So when we turn our wheels, you can see the engine block or the pistons move up and down. Seems to be a little tight, so I'm going to loosen up some of these gears, see if that helps any. Yeah, I guess that's a little bit better. Okay, so next we have a few more standard LEGO pieces, or what's called LEGO system. I have a round brick with a cone on it, and then a pin joiner on top of the dome shape. And these will slide into the axles that are sticking out here, just like that. All right, so we're going to move this to the side. We have another little sub-assembly to build. So we'll start with this piece, some friction pin. Is that another 13? Yeah. So that goes there. 2, 3. Then we have this H-frame style piece. That goes there. Seven long axle with a axle pin joiner. Five long, that goes there. this piece with 2 friction pins. And that will go there. Have another 13 long lift arm. Push one of these pins with an axle on it all the way through there. Another 13, but this one has 3 friction pins on this side. Then 2 of these guys. All right, so we bring our body part over. And these long lift arms have a little flexibility, so we can pry them open ever so slightly and then slide that piece on to kind of help with that chassis. Next is 2 of these L-shaped lift arms. Some friction pins. All right. So showing this, sliding all the way through and then pushing it in. Need to repeat that for the other side. Now this other side is not a mirrored version of it because it has a slightly different pin configuration. But the way we attach it is kind of the same. We slide this in here and then push this bottom one in to connect it. So now it's nice and snug in there. Okay, 2 more of the 15 long black friction pins. So I have to make sure to put them in the right holes, because it shows one of the friction pins still being exposed. That's good there. That piece goes there. And this one will go right here. So we have these little connector pieces here that are kind of sticking out that we haven't pushed all the way in yet. So once we get to the point where we're connecting something, we'll be able to push all those in. All right, so we have a 13 long lift arm that's just going to go right here. Not quite sure what. It's kind of off center, so there's not another one on this other side. So we just have to go with it. I'm sure we'll figure it out sooner or later. Now we have these ribbed flex tube pieces, which are surprisingly very hard to put on a friction pin like they show it. Like you have to barely get it on and then start to pull it down. And they want us to put another one on this side. Once again, kind of tricky to get on. So we have that on. And this piece will go like that. So they show it attaching there, folding around and attaching to the black friction pin that's exposed. All right. So we have to repeat those steps for the other side. Once again, I'm struggling to get this on. That rib does not want to go on very well. Similar to the other side, we've got to slide this on. And one more of these pieces. You can see that didn't stay on very well. All right, looks to be on now. So, spending a lot of time trying to get these little hoses on. That's been the slow part. But looks like we got it. We're good there. All right, another 13 long lift arm with some friction pins. That goes there. Another one. So that goes there. Two more of these little connector pieces. These will help hold everything together. So once I slide that through, it actually prevents this other one from bending like it was. And we have two more of the L-shaped lift arms. One there and one here. Another one of our 15 long lift arms. This will slide under this piece and then attach to these red parts. This is kind of interesting. We're going to push these little green parts on here. There's two friction pins on the bottom, but only one on the top. And we're going to slide this axle through. And all that's going to do is just hold that there. It's really not doing any other thing at all. All right, so next is some more axles. Then we have these axle joiners. I'm going to put 2 axle joiners on each axle. And then we're going to put one of these axles in here and then slide another axle through to hold it in place. Do that for both of those. Next is a yellow axle joiner with a 3 long axle and a 7 long axle. This one will attach to that one. Another 2 axles with the axle joiners. Push them here and right there. Now we have a little bit of an interesting build. We have this axle joiner with an axle with a non-friction pin, a 4 long axle, a bushing, and a small little 8-tooth gear. That will go there. And then the next one is the yellow axle joiner with 2 4 long axles, bushing, and a small gear. And this will go right here. So you can see we've created this little interlocking gear piece there. Alright, so this and this go right here. We have this 3 long white lift arm, friction pin in the middle, and then this little axle with a stop. So basically the axle goes through the bottom, and then we put that little 3 long lift arm under there to hold it in place. So that's all good there. Alright, we have our last 2 corner connectors. Couple more pins. Goes there and there. All right. So this piece will slide on there, and then we push these blue friction pins in there. All right. So I think we're doing good for this portion of the video. You can see we have a good portion of the car built as far as the chassis goes. It's getting pretty long. Now this finished model is going to be about, I think, 18 to 24 inches long. It's going to be really, really long. But we're just kind of building it in modules and kind of going. So we're making good progress on it. So thanks for watching. Make sure to check out the links down below. Don't miss any of the other parts, and you won't miss them if you subscribe to this channel. So subscribe, catch all my other videos, and we'll see you in the next one.